What's up, you certified beauties? We got some big news today, and Justin Trudeau has come out and said that CERB, for certain individuals who have been asked to repay the CERB amounts, are forgiven. If you've been following along on the channel, you've known that there was a CERB class action lawsuit proposed, and there was a bunch of letters that were sent out to individuals who applied for the CERB in good faith, only to find out that the eligibility criteria changed on them. If you remember, self-employed individuals, one of the criteria was before applying, you needed to have earned at least $5,000 of income, but we were originally told, even from CRA agents, that it was $5,000 of gross income. And then the CRA came back and was, no. This is $5,000 net income. And so there was a bunch of Canadians out there that hit that $5,000 gross, but not the $5,000 net, applied for the CERB, received it, spent it, did all that, and now are getting these notices saying, hey, you need to repay this. And Canadians are going, wait a second, I don't have the money to repay this. I can't do that. I was told that it was $5,000 gross. I even called agents I called the CRA and they said that wasn't the case. So there's been a lot of lobbying. Obviously the class action lawsuit was proposed. There's been petitions. Politicians have been lobbying for this, for the government to forgive the CERB for those who applied thinking that it was $5,000 gross versus $5,000 net. Justin Trudeau, even over Christmas, came out and was like, hey guys, don't worry about it. We're going to figure this out. But there wasn't anything set in stone. There was no plan. So a lot of people were left, not happy with what he had to say. It was a lot of, a lot of smoke and mirrors sort of thing. There was a lot of smoke, not a whole lot of substance. Well, Justin Trudeau has talked the talk, and now he is walking the walk, as the government of Canada has addressed CERB repayments for self-employed individuals. And they've also announced a little bit more. So stay tuned till the end of the video. And I'm going to share with you the entire Canada news release as it involves this year's tax return and the interest and penalties related to amounts owing. So if you've received the CERB, stay tuned. But before we get into this news release, I got it right here. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I've been watching the analytics, and like 85% of you guys who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So just take 2 seconds. If you just hover over the screen, bottom right, I think it's over here, there's a little play button, YouTube play button. Just click that. You'll have the ability to subscribe there. Really appreciate it. Take 2 seconds also for the value you're getting out of this. Smash the thumbs up button. That just shows me that you get appreciation, you get value out of this video. I really appreciate it. And it sends it out to more people. So there's a lot of people out there that might be in this category. They need to see this kind of content, so hitting that thumbs up button tells YouTube to push this out to more people. So I'd really appreciate you guys doing that. Do that right now. I'm going to give you guys like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. Let's jump right into the Canada news release. It was out today, February 9th. I'm going to try to put this out as soon as I film it. So I apologize if the editing isn't as good as it normally is. I know it's not that good to begin with, but anyway. We'll read through this notice, and then I'll provide my commentary as well. So, CRA. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Government of Canada has provided urgently needed income to support millions of Canadians, which has helped them put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads during the crisis. The federal government is committed to continuing to support Canadians throughout this crisis. They've been saying that over and over again, but weren't sure what that really meant. Today, the Government of Canada announced that self-employed individuals who applied for the CERB and would have qualified based on their gross income will not be required to repay the benefit, provided they also meet all other eligibility requirements. The same approach will apply whether the individual applied through the CRA or through Service Canada. So this is huge. This is what we've been fighting for. A lot of you guys have been pushing for, and we got what we asked for. I didn't think it was going to happen, to be honest, but hey, let's keep reading. This means that self-employed individuals whose net self-employment income was less than $5,000 and who applied for the CERB will not be required to repay the CERB as long as their gross self-employment income was at least $5,000 and they meet all eligibility criteria. They're just repeating that first paragraph, just using plain English, which is great. I love plain English. Some self-employed individuals whose net self-employment income was less than $5,000 may have already voluntarily repaid the CERB. The CRA and Service Canada will return any repaid amounts to these individuals. Additional details will be available in the coming weeks. Yeah, this is going to be a big one, and I'll keep you guys updated when Canada updates us on what that's going to look like, because I'm sure there's quite a few of you who have repaid the CERB, and all of a sudden now you're eligible again, and you can't reapply for the CERB now. Applications for CERB is over. We're now on to the Canada Recovery Benefit, so it's going to be a lot of internal work for the CRA and for Service Canada to make sure those payments go back to the people who rightly can use that money. In addition, today, the Honorable Diane, Leibouthiller, Minister of National Revenue, announced that the Government of Canada will provide targeted interest relief to Canadians who received COVID-related income support benefits. Once individuals have filed their 2020 income tax and benefit return, they will not be required to pay interest on any outstanding income tax debt for the 2020 tax year until April 30th of 2022. So that's a full year after your 2020 taxes are due. So you get an extra year to pay off your balance interest-free, which is huge. This will give Canadians more time and flexibility to pay if they have an amount owing. Now, what it doesn't say here is if you file late. If you file on time, no problem. But if you file late, like after April 30th, 2021, for your 2020 tax return, not sure what's going to happen if they will charge interest or not, because that's kind of the big thing with Canada. They charge interest based on the balance owing for late filing penalties. But basically, if you have a balance, get your tax return in before April 30th, 2021. Take a year to repay your balance if you've received COVID-related benefits. I'm making a ton of videos on how to do taxes, so also there's your plug to subscribe as well, so that way you know what you're doing. To qualify for targeted interest relief, individuals must have had a total taxable income of $75,000 or less in 2020 and have received income support in 2020 through one or more of the following COVID-19 measures. We've got the CERB, the CESP, CRB, CRCB, CRSB, EI, or similar provincial emergency benefits. I know there's one out in BC that has their own version. The CRA will automatically apply the interest relief measure for individuals who meet the criteria. This is great news. We don't have to do any extra work. The CRA is going to do this for us. Hopefully they do it right. Additionally, any CRA-administered credits and benefits normally paid monthly or quarterly, such as the Canada Child Benefit and the Goods and Services Tax Harmonized Sales Tax Credit, will not be applied to reduce individuals' tax debt owing for the 2020 year. Great, so you're going to get the full amount for those as well. Canadians are strongly encouraged to file their tax returns by the filing deadline to ensure that their benefit payments continue without interruption. Of course. The Government of Canada recognizes that many Canadians continue to face serious financial impacts as a result of their ongoing pandemic. The interest relief measure announced today will provide an estimated 4.5 million low and middle income Canadians with the flexibility required to feel confident about assessing the COVID-19 income support without facing additional stress at tax time. For sure, I think this is huge. So let's jump over the quick facts. All individuals are encouraged to file their tax return. I'm going to make videos this year as to why and how, so stay tuned. Any amounts owing are determined based on an individual's personal circumstances and the credits that they receive. Like EI, the COVID emergency and recovery benefits, including similar provincial benefits, are taxable, although 10% of the benefit amount for the 3 recovery benefits is withheld at source. Many emergency benefits, such as the CERB, did not withhold tax at source. Today's announcement will give those Canadians who owe any taxes as a result of accessing these benefits, more time and flexibility to pay those amounts. That's what we've been talking about, and that's what everyone's been talking about. If you've received CERB, chances are you're going to pay taxes, and so they're saying, hey, we'll give you an extra year to come up with that money. This is a big one. The CRA has not extended the tax filing deadline. It's April 30th. Canadians should submit by April 30th, the filing due date. Canadians are strongly encouraged to file their tax returns to ensure that their benefit payments continue uninterrupted. Last year we had an extension of the tax return due date. This year, as of right now, it's still very early. Hasn't even started really yet, tax season. It's still going to be April 30th. We'll stay tuned. I'll let you know if the tax deadline is extended, but it doesn't look like it is. But just know, file it on time. You still have a year to pay, which is absolutely great. This is good news. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you happy? How do you feel about this? Are you someone who fits in this category about not having to repay the CERB? If you are, I'm happy for you guys. You guys should be taking a minute here to kind of celebrate, take a deep breath, sigh of relief, and all the hard work that you put in. I know a lot of you guys on my channel talk to me on a regular basis regarding these petitions and what's going on with these CERB repayments. So I'm glad that we got to see this through. So again, hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. I will see you guys in the next video. If you don't know, I'm Nick from Nick's Taxes. Happy taxing.